5 minutes to kind of give their stump speech before we begin with the primary candidates. We will be using a timer, and then each candidate will come up and turn to introduce themselves. The primary candidates will have 10 minutes each. And then, so I'm making it a little bit shorter so that we can have more time at the end for the candidates to actually hang out and talk with everyone. We'll have a little bit more time to mingle at the end. As a reminder, it's important that we wrap things up and leave in a timely manner. I am going to need everyone's help with this. We need to make sure all the trash is taken out to the dumpster, including the restrooms. The floors are swept. All the chairs need to be stacked up against the wall. Whatever you brought in, including food and drinks, please take out with you. We are required to leave the space in its original condition. We do need to be completely finished and out by the latest at 6. It'll probably be earlier than that tonight. And we need as many of you as possible to make this happen. So without further ado, I want to introduce Greg Howard with For the Future Victory Fund Pack.
I'm going to keep this really, really short. I was on vacation last week. I got nothing going on up here, politics-wise. We're 2 days out from the primary. Please, just fucking vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for. Any of these candidates would be better than the people that are already there. If you're not sure who you want to vote for, I've got a fantastic slate of candidates that you can pick from. Go to the website, forthefuturepack.com, pick one. Yeah, that's all I've got. So, questions, comments, concerns? Well, get out of your hair.
You want to talk about your pack?
Oh yeah, thank you. Lisa's the boss of me. Okay, so I was a candidate. Being a candidate sucks. So I dropped out. I was running for Congress in CD5. And I figured I had been a campaign volunteer. I had been campaign staffer. I had been a candidate. So starting a PAC was the next obvious choice. We do not deal in money at all. Because the biggest problem that we have in American politics right now is the money. So until there are folks who are saying, you know what, fuck the cash, tell me what you're all about, nothing's gonna change. So that's what we do. The face of a larger national PAC called us an emotional support PAC, and I'm running with it. I know Lisa said we're not supposed to tear anybody down, but fuck that guy. He's not a good person anyway. Okay. So yeah, we're set up in 49 of the 50 states because Arkansas is stupid. We're not there, but we are everywhere else. I am currently working with candidates in 27 states. The majority of my candidates are here in Alabama. They're the favorites. They get the majority of my time. They also are the ones that I don't have kid clubs with. Ask Thomas. So yeah, that's all I've got. I've got 2 minutes left if somebody wants to ask me questions about really anything. Yes, sir.
So how do you, I just went to your website, how would you get an endorsement from your organization?
There's,
It's not published. The link I saw that said.
Oh, that says run for office, it's not
But
public.
the one that says apply for an endorsement.
Oh, it's not working? Okay. I will get your information and send you an email. I'll send you the paper.
Thank you.
The paper endorsement. It's super easy. It's just a couple of questions. May be able to do it now. No, that's not true because there's a whole board. Other people have to vote. We're democratic about it. Anybody else?
What's the name of your podcast?
Non-existent. Lisa's taking my picture. jet lag as hell. Jump off the plane, it's right here.
That's the name of it?
What?
Requirement.
No, it doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it exists. The episodes are out there, but it's not something that I have time for right now.
Okay, I did not know that.
So I'm
Glad to know that.
not playing it actively. Got less than a minute left. Anybody? No. I'm getting out of here then.
All right. Let's go.
Next, we've got Forrest Satterfield running for Alabama House, D21.
Hello, everyone. All right. So I'm running for Alabama State House District 21. I've taken time to talk about healthcare before, and now what I'd like to do is talk to you about housing. I'm at the stage of my life where the next thing on the list is buying a home, starting a family, and putting down roots, building somewhere to come back to in the next 30 years. And so when I look at what is happening in the housing market in our community right now, it is not abstract to me. When I think about walking into a new home, I am not just thinking about the floor plan. I'm thinking about what is behind the drywall, whether the grading drains the right direction, and whether the company that built it will still answer the phone in the next 5 years. That is not a question a buyer in this state should have to ask, but right now in Alabama, it is the question every buyer is asking. I've spent the last year talking with people in my district. I've talked to a young couple who closed on their first home in Hazel Green a year ago. 8 months in, they found unsealed HVAC ductwork, driven condensation onto their attic insulation, and they called the builder. They're still waiting to hear back. Wow. In December, a laborer was killed in an unprotected trench at a Madison County subdivision. OSHA cited the company in April, 8 serious violations, but the trench was supposed to be shored. It wasn't, and somewhere in our community, a family lost someone because someone else's schedule was just a little bit too tight. A retired veteran on the north side of Huntsville has lived in the same house since 1985. The roof needs replacement, HVAC is old, and the grass has gone past 12 inches in the last summer, and the city put a $260 lien on the house they own outright. These are 3 different houses, 3 different problems, but it's the same broken system underneath. Alabama law does not require home builders to provide a written lease. It does not require liability insurance for the builders. And it does not codify a workmanship standard every other state that neighbors us has. These are trades. This is also something that the other trades, plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians, operate under. Residential construction does not. The result is what we're seeing today. These defects are being shipped at scale. Workers in unprotected and unsafe conditions, buyers in year-long disputes they cannot win, and homeowners who have paid off their houses 30 years ago, losing them to maintenance they cannot afford. So here's what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to file 3 separate pieces of legislation. 1 sets a written warranty for 1 year on workmanship, 2 years on the mechanical systems, and 6 years on the foundation and framing. If something fails inside these windows, the builder is required to fix it. Another requires liability insurance for licensed builders. So a buyer who wins a judgment can actually collect on it. A warranty without actually insurance is not really going to work at all. And then finally, I'm seeking to codify the workmanship standards that the trade already holds itself to, so that when a builder cuts corners and it's not explicitly covered or talked about in the contract, the buyer can still hold them accountable in court. So, as you might have heard from me before, I do believe my role as an elected official goes beyond legislation and actually goes into working and organizing with the community. So here's what I'm going to be doing outside of what's going to happen in Montgomery. I'm going to be working with the Huntsville City Council on zoning that lets our teachers and nurses and young families afford to live where they work. We will work with the Madison County Commission to add the inspectors that we need in order to meet the large amount of houses that are getting built in this district. And we will also work with Huntsville on code enforcement that helps a 70-year-old fix her roof instead of receiving a lien on her house for the grass. And we will help neighbors test their homes for radon and lead. The air our children breathe is not a partisan issue, and yet what you will find in my district is that it is something that we have, I want to say, 7% testing for the houses for radon levels, and I want to say 18% of the homes in my district have been tested for lead, where that would apply. We're not putting lead into new homes, but the ones that do exist, we don't actually know what's inside them. All right, so whether by passing legislation or organizing the community, these next 4 years, I promise progress will be made one way or another. I call it build it right, stand behind it. That's not a slogan against builders. It is a standard for everyone in the trade who already works this way and is competing with people who do not. Thank you. All right.
Next, we have Anu Kalapala for Alabama House D4.
All right.
Folks, get ready for a long rally speech. No, not today, but on May 30th. And this is my personal invitation to every one of you to the Rally for an Alabama We Can Afford. Saturday, May 30th, 4 p.m., High Point Market, a black-owned business
Their
in
final remarks
Decatur.
before
You got to show up,
the primaries Tuesday.
every one of us. Good afternoon, I'm Hanu Kalapalam, your Democratic nominee for State House, District 4, Madison resident for 26 years, small technology business owner, UH grad, life member, and former second vice president of the Limestone County NAACP, married for 31 years. And I've been busy. Most importantly, I traveled to Montgomery 11 days ago. I sat in the galleries of the Alabama State House with two great veterans, Bernard Hamilton, U.S. Air Force retired, and Stanley McCreary, U.S. Army retired. Tornado warnings, heavy rain, the building was flooding, water coming in, gas leak. We left just in time before the evacuation started. The supermajority voted anyway that day. What a disgrace. Disgraceful. I marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma in March. I watched the movie Selma. But on May 6th, I was an eyewitness to Jim Crow 2.0 unfolding in 2026. We watched the supermajority vote to erase black representation from Congress and the state Senate. And while black Democratic senators and representatives spoke from the podium, their Republican colleagues were on the phones, laughing, condescending, dismissive, disrespectful. I mean, you can go to my Facebook page and see some of the pictures I posted there. I captured a lot of such pictures. And SB1 and SB1 are voter suppression dressed in legislative language. This is not a black issue or a white issue. When they void one community's vote, they void all of our votes. This is true. I mean, you can actually analyze it. Because when you lose the unity and even you are also going to be affected. My opponent Parker Moore's name was on the board. His name was on that board because he is the Republican whip. That is his record. A record of voter suppression and Jim Crow 2.0. This is his record. Throughout my campaign, I'm going to repeat this. Let me talk about political courage for a moment. Tuberville files the Assimilation Act. I don't know how many of you actually read it. Just this week, I think it is Friday or Thursday. He spoke on the U.S. Senate floor. And I just let me pull the quote for him. I'm sorry, I'm running. Oh. So this bill basically, what he said was, he was talking about immigrants, the legal immigrants, H-1B visa holders, other visa holders, naturalized citizens, just like me. And he's in quotes, a leech that is slowly bleeding this country dry. That's what he said just this week on the Senate floor. That is not, it is actually timidity for him to say that. Inflation hit last week, the highest in nearly 3 years. Groceries up. Learning recession. Our schools are fighting back, but the supermajority's answer, draining $250 million. And I'm proud to say that I received the 2026 Moms Demand Action Gun Sense candidate distinction. My opponent voted even against the Glock switches. He's extreme. I challenged him for 3 debates. No answer yet. Friends, show me some love. Donate. Show for my event on May 30th in Decatur. Thank you.
All right, now we've got Guy Sotomayor running for Alabama Senate, District 2.
Good afternoon, I'm Guy Sotomayor. As she said, I'm running for Senate District 2. I do have a primary, so I will be on the ballot on Tuesday. I am a 22-year Air Force veteran. I was an aircraft mechanic, I was an Arabic translator, I was an airborne signals analyst, and I retired as a pilot. I am a single father, and I am a college student. I'm busy, you guys, but that's what I'm about. I'm here to fight, and I'm here to win. Right now, Alabama has problems. Alabama has huge problems that the Republicans have no interest in solving. Instead of solving poverty, they would rather redraw district lines. Instead of solving healthcare problems, they would rather have a gas tax that is temporary. Instead of solving educational problems, they would rather steal money from public schools to give to wealthy students. I really, really want to solve these problems, and I cannot do it with Republicans in the state legislature. We need to recruit more Democratic candidates. Right now, we've had the most we have had in decades. This is the best chance that we have seen in recent history. We can do better. Anybody who has the will to fight, I please ask you to join us. The things that I specifically want to do is I want to establish a minimum wage. Right now, our minimum wage in Alabama does not exist. The federal minimum wage will not take a single person out of poverty. That is unacceptable that you can work a full-time job and still not afford to eat. I want 0 people to live in poverty. And to that end,
His name is Guy Sotomayor. He's running for the 2nd District's Senate seat for the state level.
I want a minimum wage that would afford a family of 4 a living wage so that they can still afford to put money away instead of having to live paycheck to paycheck for the rest of their lives and work until they are dead for pennies. I want not only to expand Medicare and Medicaid, because we have over 1 million people in Alabama that have no health care coverage. Our life expectancy is 3 full years less than the rest of the country. We need universal health care, and we need it now. We cannot wait. People are dying today because they cannot afford to go to the doctor. Our educational system is one of the worst in the country. 25% of Alabamians are functionally illiterate. And the Republican policies that have put them there are only getting worse. I want to see teacher pay increased. Right now, our teachers make 25% less than the rest of the country. I want our teachers to get 25% more than the rest of the country. They have a hard-ass job. I want to see teacher pay $100,000 a year. I want to see schools funded appropriately so that they can have STEM academics, so that they can have proper education, proper food, proper nutrition. I want to see $25,000 per student in each school, irrespective of their zip code. And I want to repeal the CHOOSE Act. The CHOOSE Act is a disgrace. It takes money from these schools that need it the most to give to wealthy students who don't need the money. Tax breaks for the rich hurt the rest of us, and it needs to stop.
Yes.
I'm Guy Sotomayor. I will be on the primary on Tuesday. Please, please vote, not only on Tuesday, but also in November. And please, if you have the capability, join me and run for office. Thank you very much.
Cool fact, a random fact, I taught his daughter.
Oh, do you have questions? Okay, you've got 30 seconds.
So, growing up, one of the schools that I went to prioritized not just STEM education, but STEAM, which includes the arts. You just mentioned that you wanted
Phoenix.
to fund STEM education, but I think that arts also needs a lot of funding that it usually doesn't get, and usually gets prioritized last to even engineering, mathematics, science, and especially sports.
I do agree with you, and that was an oversight on my part. I do think that arts are incredibly important. STEM by itself does tell us about the world, but the arts tell us about our place in it, and it is incredibly important. Thank you very much.
All right, next we've got Jared Sluss, Alabama Senate, D7.
All right. Sorry, y'all, I'm adjusting the thing to try to make sure we get a clear
Good
shot.
afternoon, everybody. I've got a rough script here I will probably not follow because I'm too ADHD for that. But, and this will be my first time doing this because my message actually is for the candidates, but it's for all of our Facebook warriors out there who try to argue with people online.
Luke, don't have me lying to you.
I'm going to have the most, years of experience or insight, but I think the thing I love about reading books is you get to gather insights from people who spent decades in studying, and you get to share those insights with other people. So has anyone here heard of the book called The Political Brain? That's what I thought. It's very obscure. But I think what people relate to a lot more, who here has talked with someone, either on Facebook or in person, tried to share facts with them, thinking that it'd see the light, and then it goes nowhere.
I think that's all of us.
Exactly. And so, what this book does, it's actually written 20 years ago. I have no idea how I stumbled across it, but it was free from the library. But it talks about why Democrats lose, why the left often loses these kind of framing wars. And I don't know why I haven't heard it. I'm running for State Senate District 7. I'm new to this, but the basic premise of the book is people don't vote with their rational brain. That may not be a terribly insightful thing to say, but we need to be reminded of it. But people vote based off their emotions. They vote on values, on identity, on gut, and then they'll reach for the facts to justify what they already believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess this speech is a reminder for the candidates. I think so often, and I get caught in this too, like I've done 10 videos, and I think all of them are about different policies I want to push, how I want to improve your life. And that does tell like part of the story. But ultimately, I think what this book shows, and the more I reflect on it, I'm like, well, it makes a lot of sense, is people want to know who you are. Like, they are constantly lied to. What the right often does is they have spent billions of dollars on framing.
they'll pass a bill called the Clean Skies Act, and all it does is cause more pollution. And so people are used to being lied to. They're used to being told policies that seem good. It's like, oh, clean skies, that sounds great. We should do that. But it's it's just a lie. It's good framing, it's good branding. And so I think, and what I am trying to do is people first need to know who you are. And
No,
you know who
he's
I am.
Senate
Like I need to make a video about this. Well, I've worked in affordable housing and nonprofits for 9 years. I have spent my day-to-day job, either as a small business owner or as an employee of nonprofits, trying to genuinely make people's lives better. And I have to be comfortable talking about myself. I have to be comfortable, to an extent, bragging about myself and the work I've tried to do. People don't vote for me based off of like these great policies or a small percentage who will. They're like, is this person a normal human being? Do they have common sense? Do they share my values? Do they actually believe the same things I believe? And I think that's part of the reason, of course, that door knocking can be effective is they actually get to meet a real person, a real human. And if they know you as the person instead of some fancy TV ad, that's often how we're going to win, is those interpersonal connections. And so I guess this message is for the Facebook warriors, but it's for every person here. Because when we're talking about these policies, one of the points it makes in the book is that all politics are moral. And we have to make it clear, not just hey, 10,000 people are going to die, but when we don't expand Medicaid, the people in power are choosing to let people suffer. They are choosing cruelty over health. They are choosing for people to die over to live. And they're doing that, whether it's due to being bought out by corporations, whether it's due to the type of donations they get. I don't know why. And ultimately, to an extent, I don't care. I mean, I do. But I think that's the type of vision that we have to portray. And I partially say this as a reminder for me. All of my videos have been about these great policies I want to do. But they have been told at least great sounding things in name. But what people have to hear is, well, who am I? What do I stand for? Do we share the same values? The point I was going to try to make in this that I did not follow in the slightest bit, which, we'll take a stab at it. But I think the big thing that kind of weighs on my heart is, I think it's 80% of white evangelical Christians vote for the right. And I grew up thinking, oh, the Republicans are the Christian party. But part of the reason is a lot of people who actually share that belief, share that faith, they don't talk about it. They don't talk about how so many of the policies on the right are not loving your neighbor. They're not remotely what Jesus stood for. And more of them have to be called out. And I think even if you're not a Christian, you should explain that maybe part of the reason that you're not is because when you think of Christian, you think about the people in power who have said that and then done hateful things toward people. Yes. And so I think this is a great book, and so I'm here to share my book report basically, but I thought it was insightful, so I wanted to share it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we're going to hear from Raven Beach. She is running for District Court Judge, Place 5.
All right.
Can you hear me? Okay, I can hear you. My name is Raven Beach, and I am the founding and managing attorney of Beach Law Practice, where I primarily provide legal services in bankruptcy, estate planning, personal injury, and veterans appeals. Throughout my career, I've had the privilege of guiding clients through difficult legal situations, advocating for their rights, and helping them rebuild their lives. And I am honored to be a candidate for Madison County District Court Judge, Place 5. My platform, balancing the scales of justice for everyone. My educational journey began at the University of Alabama, where I earned my Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice, graduating with honors. I went on to earn my Juris Doctorate degree from Vermont Law School. I am admitted to practice in multiple jurisdictions and federal courts to include the United States Supreme Court. My family has been my foundation and my motivation, and I am grateful for their love, encouragement, and constant support throughout my journey. I grew up in Cordova, Alabama, a very rural town, and I was raised to believe that service is not optional. It is a calling, it is a privilege, and it is a responsibility that we owe to the communities that shape us. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my own mother, Sandy Perry, who instilled in me hard work and servitude, and my godmother, the Honorable Deborah Bennett Winston. I can recall one day having a conversation with her when I was about 13 years old. She wanted to know what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I told her, you know, I'm just not sure. She'd been a practicing attorney for several years at the time, and she said, you know, I think you're more than capable of doing this. And that was all I needed to hear. Sadly, she transitioned to eternal peace about 2 years ago after a valiant battle with cancer. But the conversation that day continues to live in my heart over 30 years later. I relocated here to the Tennessee Valley nearly a decade ago with my family, and I have been hard at work for you ever since. Community service truly has been at the heart of everything that I do. I've served as a board member and the first Black president of the Madison County Volunteer Lawyers Program. I've organized expungement clinics to help individuals get second chances, and I volunteered with youth mentorship initiatives. I am proud to currently serve on the board of Huntsville Metro Black Chamber of Commerce, Girls Inc., and to have supported the Alabama Kidney Foundation as the 2025 Honorary Kidney Patient Chair. Most recently, I had the distinct honor of joining Speaking Out News as a legal columnist, addressing legal issues impacting everyday lives. These opportunities allow me to use my experience to uplift others and to make a meaningful difference. Professionally, I've spent nearly 20 years practicing law.
All right.
I currently serve as a part-time municipal court judge in Huntsville, where I have presided over municipal dockets to include criminal and traffic offenses. My work has allowed me to see firsthand the challenges people face and to approach every case with fairness, respect, and compassion. Over the years, I've been humbled to receive recognition from organizations I deeply respect, including being named Attorney of the Year and receiving the Game Changer Award from the Alabama NAACP, as well as being named Female Entrepreneur of the Year by the Catholic Center. These honors remind me that the work is not just about me. It's about the lives touched, the barriers removed, and the doors open for those who come after us. So you see, my passion to balance the scales of justice didn't just start with me putting my name on the ballot. It began nearly 20 years ago. This role is actually an extension of what I've already been doing. And together, we can ensure that justice is fair and balanced for everyone. You can learn more about me by visiting my website at ravenbeach.com.
All right.
All right, next we've got Jason Jones running for District Court Judge, Place 4.
All right.
Good afternoon, how's everyone doing?
All right.
Everybody's okay? We're Democrats, right? All right. So my name is Jason Jones, I'm running for District Judge. I've lived in Madison County for the better part of 28 years. I got here from Mobile, Alabama, when I received a full scholarship at Alabama A&M. For the most part of my life, I've been here. I'm running for District Judge to ensure that we have integrity in our justice system and to ensure that our Constitution works as it's intended, for the judiciary to be elected by the people, not to be appointed by the government. Since I've been practicing law here over the last 8 years, our governor has appointed 5 of the judges who are sitting on the bench right now. And while those people have run for election, they've run unopposed. So the people should have a choice, and that's what I'm here for. I bring with me a diverse background. And I speak to diversity, I'm not talking about race or sex. I'm talking about the fact that prior to me becoming an attorney, I worked in education for 8 years. After that, I worked for the Department of Defense for 16 years. I worked at Westfield Arsenal and took an early retirement. I was I'm the Cost Branch Chief out there, and served the team prior to me going back to law school. This is my second career, so I'm not a career lawyer. I'm not a career politician. So I'm somebody who's been in the field working in the community. My face is not a new face. I'm in many organizations throughout the city of Huntsville and throughout Madison County. And I seek to ensure that when someone walks in the courtroom, that the judge hears their voice, understands their story, and provides justice as the law intends. The judiciary should not create laws. We should follow the laws of the books. So as we've heard other people come up here that's running for legislature, those jobs are important. But whatever laws on the book, those laws should a judge should instill those laws evenly across the board, regardless of what someone looks like and what background they come from. And that's why I'm running for office. I want to make sure that we make a difference in Madison County. I want to make sure the people of Madison County have a choice in who their judge is. Now, I have about 2 minutes left. My website is electjasonmjones.com. I got some information on there. You can scan a barcode to find out more about me. But if you have questions, I'm here for questions as well. I will not be on the ballot for the judicial seat on Tuesday, as I'm running for place 4. But just to be clear to everyone in the room, these are places, not districts. So for those people online as well on TikTok, if you live anywhere in Madison County, that's Huntsville City, Madison City, Hazel Green, Moores Mill, Meridianville, Tony, Triana, you can vote in the election for the judge. If you live anywhere, if you touch Madison County, then you're affected by the judicial branch, and you need to have a voice in who courtroom you walk in. With that being said, once again, I'm Jason Jones, running for district judge. You can decide to make me Judge Jason Jones. It'll be very easy. Yes, ma'am. I'll answer that question also. That's a rule against, running an election. You don't ever say the other person's name. But the current judge is Judge John Allen. He was appointed by Governor Ivey in February of 2025. Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I'm Candace. Just real quick, Raven, you both running for judicial seats. Is there anyone else in the room that's running for judicial seat? Okay. They are not allowed to ask you for money, so I'm asking for money on their behalf right now. Our judicial candidates, all Supreme Court level, all of them cannot ask you for money. So make sure that if you're in a room with them, you're asking for them and also donating for them.
Thank you.
Anybody thought that we're different places, right?
Yeah. We do have 3 Democrats running for judge in Madison County, and we also have a Supreme Court judge. Somebody running for Supreme Court judge as well, not in the room, but none of us are running. That's why we won't be on the ballot, but we will be on your ballot in November, and we seek your vote. And the campaign for us started for us, but we're going to really start kicking on Wednesday morning. All right. Any other questions?
So you were at the Spring Fling, right?
Say again.
Spring Fling.
Spring Fling.
Yeah, your booth was next to my booth.
Oh, my booth. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I was looking shocked. You were like 8 or 9.
Well. Yeah, I was there. My booth was there. I was not there. I was out of town. But with the 13 seconds I have left, I will go ahead and announce that on Tuesday, if you don't have anything going on, we will be having a watch party, open to anybody and everybody, at Sizzle Social Dining, a watch party. So after you vote, bring your sticker. You might get a free taco or 2, okay?
All right.
At Sizzle, bring your sticker that you voted. And I'm not going to ask you who you voted for, but as long as you voted, you're going to get a taco. Thank you for your time.
All right, next we've got Thomas. Thomas, how do you pronounce your last name? Is it Cassez?
You got it.
All right.
Thomas Cassez, Huntsville City Council, District 2.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing?
All right, good.
I want to give a shout out to Lisa, because one of the few people who can actually pronounce my last name. So, give a good clap. As Lisa mentioned, my name is Thomas Cassez. I'm running for Huntsville City Council, District 2. That's over in the Blossomwood, and the 5 Points in Montesano, and down in Hampton Cove. So if anybody lives down over there, you guys can vote for me. I'm a software engineer. I've been a software engineer for about a decade. I recently moved back to Huntsville. I'm a native of North Alabama with my wife and daughter. after we spent some time in Atlanta. And it turns out Atlanta got real expensive. But folks, when we came back here, we realized that the city had changed, and it changed fast. And you could feel it. We felt it when we came back. And the growth is exciting. But the Huntsville of today does not look like the Huntsville of 10 years ago. We've seen new businesses, we've seen new neighborhoods, new apartments, we see more traffic, and we see more people moving in every single day. People want to live here because Huntsville is a city of opportunity, and we should be proud of that. But that growth, it comes with responsibility. When a city grows faster than it plans, people start feeling left behind. And you see it when the traffic gets worse every year. You see it when families struggle to afford childcare, when parks and roads are overcrowded, when teachers, working families, and young folks wonder if they'll still be able to live here in the next 5, in the next 10 years. And that's why I believe we should start thinking bigger. But we shouldn't just think about this in, hey, let's build new roads, let's build new highways. We should be thinking about things that makes the city more livable. So that means parks, and that means schools, and that means sidewalks, and that means public spaces, and that means daycares, and that means community investments. Because when we invest in infrastructure, it's not just the roads and the concrete, it's the quality of life. And right now, I don't believe the City Council has moved with the urgency required to handle the growth that will be coming. They've reacted to the growth and not prepared for it. Huntsville deserves leaders who are willing to plan ahead, that are willing to listen to residents and make sure that the growth benefits the people that already live here, and not just developers and special interests. Because at the end of the day, the city belongs to the people who call it home. The decisions we will be making in the next few years are going to shape Huntsville for the next 20 years. So this election, it's not just about putting names on the ballot. It's about deciding what kind of city we want to become. I believe that Huntsville can continue growing while still remaining affordable, while still remaining connected, and still remaining family-oriented. So that's going to require new leadership, new ideas, and actually looking into the future and not just reacting to what's going on to us right now. I'm ready to help bring that forward, and I hope that you guys send me up to the City Council so we can make that dream happen. Once again, my name is Thomas Kazaz. I'm running for Huntsville City Council, District 2. If you want to learn more about me, go for thomasforhuntsville.com, and I will ask for some donations. If you guys now we got a minute and a half, folks, so if you guys have any questions, shoot them my way.
When's the election?
It's a good one. Actually, August 25th. So the city elections are actually on a scattered cycle versus the other elections. My name is not going to be on ballot on Tuesday, but I'm going to reiterate something that everybody that's come on stage is saying. Please go vote. It is important, both for our civic values, but also to show the Republicans that we in North Alabama are Democrats.
Who's your opponent?
My own. That's good. It's not good form to name your opponent, but I will. My opponent is Councilman David Little. So that's District 2 over in the east side of Arkansas.
Oh, you're good. Do what you need to do, sir.
We got 36 seconds, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave the 36 seconds. Thank you all. Once again, thomasforhuntsville.com.
All right.
Hello. Next, we've got Liliana Painter. She is running for Huntsville City Council, District 3.
All right.
Hello, everybody. I want to start with just saying thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you, Lisa, for organizing, and all of the loyal organizers. Thank you, Tiffany, for allowing us to come into your space and have this forum. Every time I come up here, I feel like I'm changing all the time. And I just want y'all to understand that I'm a first-time candidate. And when I look around the room, I don't see people who can relate to me culturally, and I'm always processing that. So I'm doing my best, I'm evolving, and I'm showing up. So, thank you. So mine, I am scripted today, I just want you to know. And that's just, I'm trying to get my message pristine and precise, and mostly to resonate with all of y'all. So, my name is Liliana Painter. I'm running for Huntsville City Council District 3 because I believe South Huntsville deserves leadership that listens, plans ahead, and puts people first. I'm a proud Latina mom, an educator, translator, homeowner, and I feel like the daughter of Huntsville. This city built me, y'all. Huntsville gave my family opportunity. It gave me the ability to buy my first home at 22. And I've been able to establish roots and begin building a legacy for my family right here in this community. And I know that many families are trying to build that same stability for themselves and their children. That's why I believe this deeply. Huntsville should not only be a city where people move into, it should remain a city people can afford to build a life in. I moved to District 3 from Hazel Green not too long ago, y'all. I moved to District 3 to truly become a part of this community, build relationships, strengthen connections, and give our youth, seniors, working people of South Huntsville a representative who listens and shows up. Because right now, across the South, people are asking whether working families will still have a real voice in shaping the future of their communities. And I believe the people deserve a choice. My campaign is focused on 3 priorities. Number 1, social infrastructure. Our parks, libraries, sidewalks, transportation, senior services, and community spaces that make our city feel connected. 2, smart growth, because infrastructure should come before congestion. Residents deserve transparency and thoughtful planning as Huntsville continues to grow. Number 3 is strong school partnerships, because I believe preparing our children for the future requires collaboration between families, educators, community partners, and city leadership. Everything I do comes from a solution-oriented mindset. I walk into every situation asking, how do we make this work for people better? How do we solve problems before they grow? And how do we prepare our city for the future ahead? Huntsville's not gonna stop growing. I believe I've been fighting for opportunity my whole life, stability and community. And that has just been the warm-up. I'm running because politics doesn't need more noise. I'm running because Huntsville deserves leadership that listens, plans ahead, and has the courage to build better. My name is Liliana Painter. I would be honored to earn your support. You can find out more about me on my website, lilianaforhuntsville.com, and on all the socials. And like all of the candidates, I just, again, want to ask for your support financially. You can donate to my campaign. I have a few links. And then I have 40 seconds, so any questions from the floor? Thomas.
Where does your district stretch from?
So my district stretches from 4 Mile Post Road, South Huntsville, all the way down to Pastillo Landing. I have Bailey Cove, Cecil Ashburn, and then on the other side of 231, the Chaffee area. Yes.
Do you have like a special pet project that you would like to see accomplished in your district that hasn't even gotten any attention?
Ooh, baby. There are so many things. Can I answer this question real quick? Okay, so two city council meetings ago, my incumbent allocated $15,000 in council improvement funds to a one-day event Independence Day event at Ditto Landing. Yesterday, I went to Ditto Landing. $15,000 is a lot, and I can make it go a long way. So I would start with, one, making sure that we can replace the decking around the boat area, because y'all, this thing is falling apart. There's fans that need to be replaced, we need pavilions, and I also talked to some of the community, or the residents that are walking and fishing, and I asked them, hey, what do you want to see around here? And they mentioned more bathrooms, dog stations, and then they also mentioned just pavilions. And so one of my projects would be to make sure that any council improvement funds are actually improvements that we can feel for years to come, not just on Independence Day. So, hope that answers your question. Thank you.
All right. Rod, I don't even know how to introduce you other than you're a motivational speaker. Rod was, he was running, he stepped down, and I think he's phenomenal. And I think he should do motivational speeches all over the state of Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody give it up for Rod.
Thank you. I'm doing something different today. I'm going to behave and stay on script before I start talking about people. Miss Lisa won't invite me back anymore. But my Alabama family, y'all, we're here. Y'all ready? Yeah. I said, are y'all ready? Woo! All right. Because I came here to tell somebody today that we can't afford to go backwards. Not now, well, especially not now. Not after everything that our people have survived, every bridge crossed, every jail cell endured, every march marched, every prayer prayed, every drop of blood spilled for the right to participate in our democracy. And yet here in 2026, watching GOP-led states, and even decisions from the Supreme Court, they're trying to turn back the hands of time, trying to silence voices, trying to make it harder to vote, trying to convince everyday people that their voices do not matter. But let me tell you all something. If your vote and your voice didn't matter, then they wouldn't be trying so hard to stop you. I want y'all to think about that. Can I say that one more time for y'all in the back? If your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't be spending millions trying to dilute it, trying to restrict it, trying to confuse it, trying to discourage you. Because they know that the power is with the people. And let me be crystal clear today. When they come after black voices, it never stops there, y'all. History has taught us time and time again that they will first target the marginalized. Then they target the women. Then they're going after the workers and the immigrants and the dissent. And then eventually, we all look up, all of our rights and freedoms are gone. This moment matters, y'all. This is bigger than Democrats. This is bigger than Republicans. This is bigger than one big orange personality. This is about this is about whether or not democracy still belongs to the people. And I still believe it. I believe in Alabama. I know a lot of people talk about us, but I believe. I still believe in the power of ordinary folks standing shoulder to shoulder saying, you will not silence us. If you need a belief that it can happen, take a look at New York City. Mayor Mamdani. They thought that they had him done. Both Democrats and Republicans. And yet the people stood up and they spoke out. Folks are staying home saying that their votes won't change anything. But my brothers and sisters, let me just say to you, if your votes change nothing, they wouldn't work so hard to stop it. They're closing polling places. They are trying to redraw districts. They wouldn't flood the airwaves with confusion and fear. They're fighting because they know your voice carries power. And that means we have a responsibility to organize, a responsibility to educate, a responsibility to show up. And while we're making our decisions on Tuesday, May 19th, I want us to remember something important. Pay attention to the people that have showed up, not just for the cameras, not just for the big rallies, not just when it was popular. Remember the ones who came to the small churches, the community centers, the union halls, the fish fries, the neighborhoods everybody else ignored. Now, I know that sounds a lot like I'm describing somebody, I promise you, that just crossed my mind. That's what I'm saying. Remember the people who kept showing up when nobody was watching, because leadership is not about who shines bright under the lights, but who stands with the people when it's dark. And my friends, we need people willing to go to Montgomery and Washington to fight on everyday Alabamians. Not the wealthy few, not the special interests, not the connected class, everyday people, working people, teachers, nurses, truck drivers, veterans, grandparents raising grandchildren. And y'all, we need to understand that Alabama belongs to all of us. Now today, I want to remind you of the words of the old Negro spiritual, and y'all can say it with me if you need to. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Oh, I feel that in my spirit today, yo. When they try to discourage us, I need you to say to yourself, I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. When they try to divide us, what we gonna say?
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around.
When they try to silence us, we gonna say what now?
I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around.
Yo, we've come too far to turn around now. And as we march towards that ballot box, I need us to gather the spirit of Marvin Gaye and Tina Terrell in our hearts. And I want you to say, ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to that ballot box. Not fear, not intimidation, not long lines, not confusion, and not exhaustion. Nothing. Because when people move together, we can move mountains. I know we got a pastor in the house over there. He has faith of the size of a mustard seed that we can make those mountains disappear if we do this together. So let me cut this short because I see I'm running out of time. Oh, Miss Lisa, let me just say this, please. Y'all, when I say forward, y'all say together. Forward.
Together.
Forward.
Together.
Forward.
Together.
God bless you all. May God bless Alabama and may God continue to bless you.
Next, we have Dr. Will Boyd, who is running for Alabama governor.
Hello, everyone.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Who can follow that pastor? I just wanted to stop by today to say thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Lisa, can you give Lisa Shrimshire a great hand clap?
Yes. Dr. Boyd, y'all. That's Dr. Will Boyd.
I want to say thank you to the candidates. Candidates, would you raise your hands one more time and let us see you and thank you for your support. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My brothers and sisters, the opportunity has come for us to step up.
Yes.
To step up to the plate and to vote on Tuesday. We have a choice. We can decide to allow things to remain the way they are, or we can do something totally different. Truly, our country and our state are energized. People are ready to organize, recruit, get involved, and go even further to fight for the right to vote. Now, I should not be saying those words in 2026, but sadly, that's where we are. I was excited to be around some people in Selma yesterday, some of you. Excited to be in Montgomery, again with some of you, as we gather at the Capitol to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. I've made this very clear on an interview about 15 minutes ago, that this is not just a war on the backs of black and brown people, but this is a war on white people as well. So all of us in this room are included and should be on the front lines of this fight. The question is, are we happy about where we are?
No.
If you're not happy, if the answer is no, then we need to make a change. We have great people in this room who have the opportunity to be our next senators, our next congresswomen, congressmen, the people who are able to step up and be the next House representatives, state representative, U.S. senators. You're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, but we can't stop here. We have to keep on fighting. Some of us have journeys that seemingly end on Tuesday. Others of us travel on to November, but we're all in this same ship together. We have to fight as a unified party. So I know we have contested races, I say this all the time, but let's remember we are the Democratic Party.
Yes.
You've never heard me trash any opponent on either side, especially on, when I say either side, especially my left and right in this gubernatorial race or any of your races. I've made sure I uplifted every one of you. Now, Tommy Tuberville on the other side, he gets trashed. And May 20th, we ramp it up even more. And if you haven't seen polling, some polling is out there that is honestly me and Doug right now, neck and neck. And the polling honestly indicates that if it's a runoff, that I win the runoff. And so I need your help. I need you to step up, to step out and keep on fighting. I know I'm in Doug Jones country. Maybe I'm in Chig Martin country, Yolanda Flowers country, Jamel Brown country. Maybe I'm in Nathan Ellis country. I don't know. But I'm here to tell you, I presented an opportunity for all of us to fight and do better. Healthcare can be expanded, and we can have almost 300,000 people covered.
Yes.
Our economy can do much better, even though we have a low unemployment rate, and I've spoken about workforce development. Our communities can be stabilized a whole lot better. And I wish you could just jump in the car with me for 1 week and see how communities in Alabama are living in 2026. We have communities right now that are excited because they have one ambulance that is covering thousands of people. I was speaking in Hale County last week, and while speaking, a helicopter landed and they had to medevac somebody out. And that's something that only happens once every 3 months. But they have 4 ambulances in that area and 2 don't work. I'm sometimes in Allisville, Pickens County, and they get excited because they have 1 ambulance, but they're hoping that an accident doesn't occur, PSC Commissioner, while someone is being transported to dialysis in Tuscaloosa, because they would have to drop the patient off and come back to get them and then drive another hour back. We have people in our state right now who are struggling. I've talked about black water here. I've talked about brown water here, air quality here. There's so much that we don't have to deal with in 2026. We are where we are because of bad policy. And I'm going to stop around the 4-minute mark because I really want all of you to ask me questions, or anybody to raise any question you have. But look at every candidate on the ballot. And I can assure you, I've shown up to every debate. I've shown up to every forum.
Yes, you
I've
have.
driven 1,500 miles a week. My car is barely able to make it here today, and so am I. But I have another event in Birmingham after this, and who knows what my team is going to keep throwing at me before I go to bed tonight. But I'm in this to show you that I'm committed to you. Some of you may not believe in the message, but I'm telling you, now is the time to get on board as a team. Because if we don't act together now, if we don't fight together now, we're going to get left behind. The GOP does not sleep. The GOP has not just Project 2025. I guarantee you they have Project 2030, 2040, and beyond. But if we're almost halfway through 2025, if not beyond, why are we as Democrats so fractured today? There is so much confusion in our party, but we have great leaders who are ready. So I close by saying this. Alabama doesn't have a lack of talent. We have a lack of opportunity.
Yes.
And what I'm trying to create with this program that I'm pushing out, this movement that some of us are part of, is the fact that we don't have to settle for Alabama being the way it is. We don't have to settle to be at the bottom in terms of reading and math. We have outstanding educators. We don't have to settle for having poor healthcare outcomes. We have phenomenal healthcare professionals. And we have great community activists that can help us fight to have broadband in 98% of our counties by 2028, and so much more. So as we continue to finish this campaign trail, candidates in the room, I'm asking you, not for me, give them the financial help they need. Support them across the finish line. One thing I learned when I was very young is that if I broke my speed before I hit first base, I was probably going to get struck out. But when I learned that I could run the baseline, oh, they couldn't ever catch me. So I'm telling you, I can't be caught in this race. I'm going on to November 3rd. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I look forward to serving as the next governor of the state of Alabama.
Yes, sir.
And I've asked him, why can you not have a state lottery? And I've not really gotten a great answer. And everybody around us has gambling, and we would benefit from it. I'm a teacher, and I mean, we need it for prisons, we need it for state troopers, we need it for everything.
We do.
How come we can't have that?
Quick answer is, it's been placed on the table a number of times. We're live streaming, so I really don't want to tell you my answer, but the answer would probably go like this. Somebody's pockets are probably being lined.
That's what I thought.
Because right now, if we just had the educational lottery, it would bring in anywhere from 800 million to over $1 billion. And we won't fund, as I've said countless times, the education for kids in Tennessee, Mississippi, Georgia, and Florida, but that money could come here. That money could be used to pay teachers a comparable pay. That money could be used to help with the public service loan forgiveness program to pay teachers perhaps $15,000 a year to reduce their student loan debt. That could be helped to create educational equity across zip codes and so much more. So we need it.
Give us the vote.
Well, the process should be, and it will be, as of 2027 when I'm elected.
All right.
We have to have three-fifths of the legislative body, the state house, has to move forward. Obviously, that's a constitutional amendment. We did have a statewide referendum. We're going to get a new battery after I sit down. But a statewide referendum has to go forth. And then, of course, I can start moving into the plan. You mentioned prisons. I have a plan that's going to reduce the prison system debt by $100 million a year. I've come in here countless times talking about how HB 445 actually knocked out 1,000 entrepreneurial spirits, cut out $1 million in revenue. But the truth is, the number's closer to 100 million. So I tell you this, Alabama is falling behind because of bad policies. It is not because we don't have the resources. People are in lack, in poverty, 900,000, because we have not changed the way we handle business in Alabama. Anybody else before my time is up? 58 seconds. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. I'm a retired teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know teachers do need pay.
They do.
But what about us retired teachers that haven't gotten an increase?
I know. Absolutely, 100%. My mother was part of the NEA. My mother's a first grade teacher and a nurse. My dad rose to the rank of superintendent of the school district that I went to school in. My brother was the youngest superintendent in the state for a while. I've taught at the higher learning level. Education is very important to me. My wife taught. So yes, teachers need to be paid. You're the ones educating for the future. In Alabama, let me just say this, we have RSCA appeal, and you probably know what that is, but Alabama Retired State Employees Association is who is advocating for you right now. And appeal has another meaning, but long story short, in my last 5 seconds, is groups like that advocate for you to have pay, obviously comparable pay, but on the general level, I'm fighting to make sure all retirees have their pension protected, their defined benefits in place, and of course, you get a cost of living raise, et cetera, because life is getting harder for everybody, but it's not fair that you're locked into the same pay you had when you're in. Can I answer the young person's question? Yes, ma'am.
I had two little things.
Yes, ma'am.
To bring up. So, since the prison system was mentioned, the problems we have in our prison system, you've seen the plans for this newest one that's being built, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It's absolutely awful, and I just wanted to know if you plan on doing anything about shutting some of these down and just doing something about how awful they're built even.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen the low security prison areas. It's these cubicles that are 6 bricks by 6 bricks on all sides. It's
Yes,
inhumane.
I have. That's part one, right? Is there part two?
The part 2 was a different subject.
Okay, part one, I've seen the same plans. I've actually seen the deputy commissioner present. I've been in Montgomery every time the prison oversight committee meets, and it is bad. It looks terrible. 4,000 new beds will come out of it. Some are reserved for mental health, but we have 27,000 incarcerated citizens in the prison system of Alabama, so it will not solve our problems. So when your Tommy Tuberville said, I want to spend $1.3 billion on new high-tech prisons, that does not solve the problem. We have a pipeline to prison problem. And we're going to see more people go to prison until we address it. And you've heard my PTSD plan before. I'll give it if somebody wants to ask afterwards. But your part 2 question, but you're exactly right. You would think if $1.3 billion more is invested that we would have a more accommodation, but we do not.
And this actually lends to the mental health thing that you brought up and our hospital infrastructure.
Yes, ma'am.
Recently, I was in the hospital for
Yes.
mental health stuff.
Yes.
And before I got moved to the psychiatric ward, I was in the emergency ward for days, even. I spoke with somebody who said they were in there for 3 days. And it was awful.
Piece of massive part too. So it's awful in the hospitals. I've been there, I've seen it. I am a Christian clinical therapist. I have a diploma in traumatology. Go on and on, but long story short, yes. The problem I have in Alabama is if you said, I want to regrettably take my life, you might go to an emergency room, you might sit in front of an MD, doctor of osteopathy, or any person that puts you in front of a nurse practitioner. They will look at you, make sure you're okay, but yes, you could, I'm not saying this would happen to you, but you could actually sit there for hours before they find a room in a behavioral area. In the behavioral area, sadly in Alabama, not many of them, not all of them, have psychiatrists, psychologists, or therapists on site. So you might be sitting there in a room with the bathroom curtain and the door gone, which adds to trauma, while you're trying to use the restroom. And I've been in there, I've seen it, I've walked in there. It looks as if you're in a type of mental ward, when all you did was you had one bad thought or you were struggling.
I wasn't able to even sleep the whole time I was in there. There's just everything going all the time.
And
There's lights on.
24/7, a lot stimulating coming your way. Parents can't visit you, but 1 hour, if you have two parents that split up to 30 minutes, is bad. So I have the Alabama HEAL Plan. And the HEAL Plan is just to expand healthcare relative to mental health, early detection, especially in classrooms, like educators and counselors can help you with that so you know what you're struggling with ahead of time. The A deals with addiction and recovery, and the L deals with law enforcement. Right now, 3 in 5 people in America, when they're pulled over by law enforcement and they have pre-existing mental health problems, they usually end up going to jail rather than to a mental health facility. That is a big problem in Alabama, so thank you for asking the question.
And I wanted to ask one more thing about our hospital system. Do you plan on making efforts to bring in more specialists and everything? Like, I think we only have one specialist for hypermobility and other associated disorders in the entire state.
Yes.
Down in Birmingham.
Yes, ma'am.
I tried to go see somebody about possibly having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome over at TOC. They called me, they said, we don't have anyone that even knows what that is.
I understand. So that's why we need, again, the expansion of Medicaid. We need those dollars coming in. We need more specialists, not just loan forgiveness for teachers, but also for specialists. We need regionally qualified healthcare centers in every community. Right now, we don't even have hospitals in every county. So imagine the people who can't even get to a hospital in the first place. So long story short, yes, the money's there. We will put more money there, but we need more specialists in all areas. It's not just in mental health, but all over the board. Would you give it up for these great questions? All right. Thank you, Greg, for the endorsement. I'm Will Boyd, the next governor of the state of Alabama. Thank you so much.
All right. Yes, indeed. Do y'all see? That's my governor as well. Yeah. Do y'all see why we love him so much?
All right, let's give a hand to Kyle Sweetser. He is running for U.S. Senate.
This is Kyle Sweetser, U.S. Senate.
Hey y'all, I really appreciate this opportunity to come out and speak to y'all. If y'all haven't heard me before, I'm a former Republican. I'm a Mobile, Alabama native. So I grew up down in Alabama. I graduated from Baker High School down there. I ended up getting a football scholarship at West Point. Got injured my second year. I went to USMAX the first year pretty badly. So I got an honorable discharge. I came back to Alabama, and at the time, it was during the recession. And my parents, a family business, wasn't doing so well. So I helped them move their business from the Yellow Pages to the internet. And from that point, the Deepwater Horizon blew a couple years later, and I went straight to work as a small boat captain. I already had a license because that's sort of a rite of passage down in Mobile. I already had a boater's license, so I ended up working as a small boat captain, getting after it, keeping the oil off our beaches. In 2016, got a business license, started out before my regular job, going out in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, getting folks out of their garages, working on garage doors on the residential end. And through that process, of going in and out of people's houses, community to community, all types of folks, I got to see what the MAGA movement was doing to our country. I got to see folks change year after year. I got to see an increase of extremism face to face, where people are more comfortable to tell you what their beliefs actually are in their homes. So seeing that was deeply disturbing to me. The increase of racism, xenophobia, and sexism especially, in an open way, where they were given a license to be bad by a president who sets the example for the American people, for our children. In 2018, I got to witness steel tariffs and tariffs and how they actually work. And at the time, there wasn't messaging that was really passed down to people in a way where we knew what was going on. So I got to watch the price of products to us from larger companies who were, by the way, charging way more extra than the tariff amount anytime a tariff came through, to see them pass it on. I got to see some folks not even able to afford to get their jobs completed because of that, because we're 49th in income here in Alabama. Because of that, regressive tax, which we all know too well with our sales tax here, which is a tax on the poor, essentially. So through that, really though, in January 6, 2021, that's whenever I said, this is enough. It wasn't just that I was moving away from that movement and moved away from that movement. I started speaking up actively against it. So for the past roughly 5 years, I have worked pretty much every single day to move folks away from the MAGA movement, to move folks away from a movement that has been tearing our country apart, that we see now is really, it's not just tearing the country apart, it is tearing the world apart. The world is on fire.
It is.
So through my activism, I made the right people mad, and I was invited by Kamala Harris to speak at the Democratic National Convention, where I delivered a speech about tariffs in the direction our country was going. I helped develop that messaging so folks could really digest it and understand what was happening. So I'm running to rein in the executive office. It's clear the executive office has far too much power. The president was given full immunity by the Supreme Court. And I view that, and I think every American should view that, as the president essentially having unlimited power. He can operate outside of the law. So I want to pass legislation that undoes that Supreme Court ruling that says the president is above the law. That's absurd. I also want to push the debate to look towards a constitutional amendment to rein in the president's pardoning power. Yes. And we see with everything that's happened, especially with these January 6ers, it's just wild. If you look at some of these folks and you follow them, many of these guys are back in prison. And with the president and the way that he's used his pardoning power, it's given these people the view that they're operating on the president's behalf. That is a dangerous place that we're in. The next thing I want to do is pass immigration legislation. You look at what's happening with immigration, you look at the messaging the Republican Party's pushed, it's teaching a new generation to hate. The fact that these folks have been sending out text messages at 8 o'clock at night, anytime anybody that's brown commits some sort of crime, as if, you know, we don't have 330 million people that live in the country. If you look at the data, it shows that these folks that are here, they're working hard, they're doing everything to provide for their families, they are helping push our country forward. They're paying taxes in many cases. So I want to pass legislation because right now what's happening is fiscally irresponsible, unconstitutional, and it's flat out immoral. We need to provide a pathway to citizenship to these folks that are here, that are doing jobs that can't be replaced, that are a vital part of our community. We need to make sure that they have a fair shot. The last thing, I want to push for clean water initiatives, really taking Alabama to DC. If you look at our state, we are the most biodiverse state in the country. We have more species than any other place here in North America. We are North America's Amazon. I think it's so important that we have somebody in Washington, D.C. from Alabama that represents that represents the environment in a practical way. I want to push clean water initiatives, some of this low-hanging fruit, zero in on some of these issues that I've found talking across the state. Republicans care about it, independents care about it, Democrats care about it, so it's a unifying issue. You look at Lowndes County, Alabama, where 1 out of every 3 people has an intestinal hookworm, like we live in a third world country, and this administration cut the funding, calling it DEI because it was a minority community. Those are our fellow Alabamians. Those are our neighbors. We need to make sure that we take care of our neighbors, that we move our state towards the future, and that we help pull ourselves from the bottom of life expectancy where I think 2 other states, we die 10 years sooner than 1 or 2 other states. That is absolutely a fact. Also, you look at our rivers, you go across our state and you look at maps as well. We have so many rivers here in the state. You go to outdooralabama.com and you'll see that there's an advisory on dozens of these rivers where we can't even eat the fish out of them. So we've got to move our economy forward, but we've got to do it in a smart way. I think we need to diversify the grid and look towards the future. And I'll work to bring in money into our state to move us towards clean energy on future projects here as we expand the grid to meet the economic demands of the future. So, I'll close with this. I got 2 minutes. I was at an event this weekend in rural Alabama, and I was having a conversation, and a Democrat came up to me and he said, I'm a Democrat. I've been a Democrat all my life. And he said, I've got a pen. I won't say which governor. I don't want to, but he had a pen for one of the governors in his pocket. He was afraid to put it on his chest. He said, I'm afraid of getting shot. And I said, don't you worry. 2 minutes later, we were still talking. And I said, you know what? We got to turn out every Democrat. We got to turn out every independent. But we also have to make more Democrats. And as I was saying that, someone was walking by and they said, well, if you make more Democrats, we're going to make more bullets. Woo. The county I was in was Jackson County. It voted 85% Trump. That is what we're up against. But I'll tell you what, I am not afraid to go into every single county of our great state and to start to get folks to stand up, to show them the light. The more of us that stand up, the more that will follow. I hope that you all vote for me on May 19th. I am dedicated to growing the Democratic Party.
Is this on? No,
All right.
Hey, this is on, everybody. What? Karaoke. So I heard that we had an election coming up in 2 days. Hey, that's why you're here. Y'all, it is so nice to see so many familiar faces today. And whenever I come here, it's
see if I can get that light
feels
up.
kind of like a homecoming. And I want to call out a few people I've met over this last year of traveling the state and getting to know you all. Of course, I have to start with Lisa. Thank you so much for having us here.
I'm so sorry.
Together, Christina, Jeremy, Bill, who else? Panu, Guy. Oh gosh, so many people. Greg, Candace, thank you all. Thank you so much. Now, too much is at stake, you guys. This Tuesday, too much. I just came from Montgomery. Our voting rights are under assault. Reproductive freedom under assault. Healthcare, the system is in shambles, run by Robert F. Kennedy. Education, dismantled by Linda McMahon, a professional wrestler, guys. This is where we are now. This is where we are. You couldn't make this up. It's a reality TV show. The Department of War, run by Fox News personality.
Yeah.
Let's get serious, guys. We've got to send fighters to Washington immediately.
Hey, all right.
My name is Dakari Lariat. I'm a born and raised Alabamian. I'm a lifelong Democrat.
All right.
And I love the state. I want to see us all do better. And that starts from this policy proposal. Because I've been listening to you for the last year, traveling this state and hearing from you what matters in your communities. It starts with education. We've got to start investing now. Thank you for my teachers. So when I was a teacher, she invested in me. I was able to excel in this state, graduating from University of Alabama with opportunity,
I'm trying to get that
not
light reflection
debt.
off of him.
I want that for all of us. I want that for all of our children so that we can do better, have great careers and opportunities. We've got to make pre-K affordable. We've got to pay our teachers fair salaries, competitive salaries.
Hey!
Healthcare. We've got to fight like hell for reproductive health care. It cannot be up for debate every single time the administration changes. It's unacceptable. Let's codify our values. I traveled to Washington, D.C., and I stood shoulder to shoulder with Representative Maxine Waters, and I protested the One Big Beautiful Bill because I knew it was going to devastate our healthcare system. And it's about to. Most of the effects are going to start happening next year, in 2027.
Thank you.
The cost sharing for SNAP, as well as Medicare. This is going to force more rural hospitals to close in our state. It's unacceptable. We're living in developing world conditions where women die at rates very similar to third world countries. We can do better, and we've got to let leaders that are going to fight for these things. And finally, economic opportunity. Too many people are getting left behind. Too many. We've got to ensure that everyone has an opportunity and a fair shot in this state. That includes making it easier to work here. Transportation. In my home county, Jefferson County, only 2% of people use public transit. Working is very difficult in our state. Child care is unaffordable. Elder care is unaffordable. We can do better. We've got to implement work training programs. We've got to create opportunities for our people here in the state and invest in them, not just give incentives to big businesses to move into the state. So these are the issues that I'm committed to fighting for every single day. In Washington, I bring 20 years of experience in advocacy, fighting for our unhoused youth, fighting the opioid crisis, building capacity from coast to coast. Most recently, I was appointed to the Alabama Equality Board, again, advocating for diverse populations and ensuring they have opportunity in our state. It is so important this election that we vote for people who represent our values. When you vote for a governor or a senator, which is what I'm running for, you're voting for someone who can make difficult decisions for you behind closed doors when the information is incomplete, when they have to do it quickly, maybe for security reasons. You don't always get a say on every particular. That's why it's so important that these folks have good judgment and history of advocating for you. Now, the interesting thing about our election this cycle is the 4 contenders on the Democratic side have never been elected before. So you don't have a real voting history. But if you want to know who I voted for, it was not Donald Trump in 2016. It was not Donald Trump in 2020. And it was not Donald Trump in 2024. I'll be transparent with you. I voted for Hillary Clinton. I felt that she was the most qualified person in 2016. I supported Elizabeth Warren in the primary for 2020 because I thought she was the most qualified person. I then supported Biden. And then I then supported Hillary Clinton. That is where my morals lie. And you can trust my judgment. My name is Dakari Leary, a candidate for the United States Senate. I thank you for the opportunity today and happy to answer any questions you might have.
I'm glad you brought up how the bill is set to go into effect after these elections. That's quite nefarious. I was just wondering, like, is there no mechanism to actually stop that, or is that just a ball rolling down the hill that we can't stop? Because obviously, the Supreme Court-wise, they can do things. You know, they can stop things when they want to stop them. Or, you know, is there no way to stop the big beautiful bill at all? I mean,
Getting the votes. So we know we've got to get control of both houses and then ultimately the executive branch. So the House, pretty much, we know that's going to happen. The Senate is iffy, right? We need to flip 4 seats, y'all. Only 4. 4 nationally. Imagine if we flipped Alabama. No one would see that coming. That means we get control of the agenda, we get control of subpoena power, we can jam up things from the executive branch. To pass substantial legislation to undo, for example, or to repeal, we really need to get to that 60, unless we do some kind of maneuvers. So we've got to really work to get the 4 this November, take control of the Senate, and then work to get the other 9 so we can truly pass substantial legislation. Then we've got to look at the Supreme Court. As soon as we get that control, we've got to reform this court. This is a kangaroo court. It is illegal. It is malicious. It is racist. I mean, all of the above.
They do. Do you support impeachment of President Trump? Would you vote? Would you vote for it?
Well, I need to see the evidence, but I mean, there's so many. I mean, I don't know how many fingers I need to, count all of the offenses. So most likely, yes. I would be unusual as a senator.
Of course.
Yes.
Earlier, one of the candidates spoke about president's pardoning power. Just in the last few days, the same guy in the White House set up
slush fund.
Apology fund. What is it called? Apology fund.
Yeah.
1 point something
$7
million to give the J6.
It's abhorrent.
Translated.
It's abhorrent. So it's interesting if your policy. Well, we've not really been doing amendments. We've been so divided as a country for the last 20 years. Amendments typically were happening every 10 years to our Constitution. So we're kind of behind the curve. I think we've got to seriously sit down and think about how we move forward with making structural changes to our laws. So voting rights, for example, the reason that the Supreme Court was able to undo everything in the last 2 weeks is because they ruled that bipartisan law signed in 1965 was unconstitutional. So now we need to go codify our values and make them constitutional amendments, just like we need to do with ensuring that the executive branch truly is a co-equal branch of government, not sitting above the other 2. Thank you, guys. Oh, one more.
What is your opinion about military to Ukraine?
Military aid to Ukraine, they're a strategic partner, and we're learning that right now. All of the work they've done in drone development, we're utilizing that insight right now in Iran. So partnerships make us stronger. I think this is really a pro-Russia strategy that's being driven by, frankly, the pedophile in chief. But I certainly support supporting Ukraine. It ultimately makes us safer.
Oh, is it me first? You're right. Is it me first? Got it.
All right, this is Jeremy DeVito, House so for District 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm going to stand on the floor. That stage is kind of intimidating. There's a lot been going on over the past year. I started this campaign, like you guys all know, back in February of last year. And ever since then, things have just continued to get worse. And I was down in Montgomery yesterday in Selma. And what I noticed there was, did you guys watch the coverage of Selma yesterday?
Yes.
You were there, or if you weren't, yep. What did you notice there? Who did they bring in to rally the South? And where did the attention come from? We had AOC. We had Congressional Caucus, Progressive Congressional Caucus there. And we had Ayanna Pressley and Cory Booker. And I know there's strong opinions about Cory Booker, but he was there.
Raphael Warnock.
And Warnock was there. I didn't get to see all of them. I was at the Bridge March in Selma. I went over the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And it was a solemn event. I don't know if you guys have ever walked the Edmund Pettus Bridge before, and it's a solemn event, but it basically broke down and made everything has come full circle for this campaign. I'm glad that Tuesday's approaching. In the next 2 days, I'm sure Candace and all the other candidates are too, because it's been exhausting. Before we got here today, I was out canvassing at Mid-City and met a bunch of voters there today too. But what I want to leave you with today is, I know you guys all have choices to make, and some of you may have already made your choices, but I'm going to use this time to try and convince you to maybe rethink about that and consider me as your option. I'm unapologetically progressive, and it's bona fide. I'm a DSA member. I fight for workers' rights. I'm an activist, organizer, and I'm a fighter. I'm a veteran. I've been to combat. I've deployed. I'm a fighter. It's who I am. And whether or not I was your representative or not, yesterday I said this, I would have been in Selma. But as you see, so many other representatives and influential people and leaders and organizers and activists showed up, because yesterday was the moment that the country saw the South, where we have been fighting these battles for decades, and since this country has been established. We've been fighting for the rights, for black people to have the right to vote, for black people to be treated like regular people, and have freedom and rights and regular things. And I don't understand how we got to this point, but I do know how we're going to get out of this. All right. We're going to elect progressive fighters. Thank you. We're going to let people with some morals and some ethical values, some experience, some leadership, and some willingness and some know-how to push past all of the nonsense. And I'm going to do it by taking no PAC money. I'm going to do it by being a grassroots funded candidate, because that's who I am as a person. And we need to get the money out of Washington, D.C. so that normal people, the working class, that is what unites us all. We are the largest voting group, the working class. And if we utilize our power, we can fight for the rights of everyone in this country. And we can bring a better future. We can do it. Education, healthcare, human rights, housing, affordable housing. These are things, if you look at my push card, I don't know if there's any on your table, I made that push card back in February. I haven't had to change it. Right? That's because these are the issues that we have been fighting for decades. So as long as I've been allowed to vote, I've been fighting for health care for all. I've been fighting for human rights and equal rights and voting rights and showing up and being an ally. And now I'm just sick of it, and I'm tired of watching people get beat down. And so I stood up and said, you're not going to pick on trans people, queer people, black people. I'm going to use my white male privilege, my veteran status. I'm going to open those doors for people, because I don't want to be a politician in Washington for 30 years and make millions of dollars. It's not my interest. It's not about the money. It's about you, the people. That's all it's ever been about. And that's who I am. I'm pure of heart when it comes to that. If I can do it, it's going to be great. I promise. I want to represent for all of you. I'll find the MAGA folks too. If you want to come and come to the left, there's room for you. The bridge is open. It's never been closed. But I'm not moving to their side. I'm not going to placate to the right anymore, because that's what brought us to this moment right here today. That Makari so eloquently put it. You detailed it perfectly. Everything that's going on in this country today. And we've got a decision to make Tuesday of who you want to go up against. This is about Dale Strong in this district, I understand that, but it's also a lot of legislative power at the national level to do the things, to build the coalitions, abortion access, healthcare for all, voting rights, codifying all those things. Makari is going to need some allies in Congress, and our Alabama delegation, all of us, are ready to fight for that. Look, I've given a lot of speeches over the last year, and I've hit a lot of the same topics over again. One of the things that I probably haven't mentioned a lot, and I guess I need to bring it back, because I thought we were all in agreement here. So, Citizens United. Yeah. We're going to return Citizens United, right? Yes, indeed. I didn't put that as a bullet point anywhere, because it's, I thought, the most obvious thing that we should be doing, and I didn't think that we had to get people behind on that. I hear about it almost every day. So if you don't know that, I am in favor of getting money out of politics and overturning Citizens United. I didn't spell it out, but thank you. Okay, we got time for questions, 4 minutes. I would love to hear them. Anybody got any questions? If not, I'll cut us early. All right, Bonnie, go ahead.
I know you are a PsyOps guy, right?
Yeah, it's secret. Can't tell.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Can you not use your PsyOps experience to defeat all our opponents, like my opponent?
It's not special brain power. It's they didn't give me any special training that gave me a superpower. But
They didn't give you the super soldier?
no, I didn't take the drugs or whatever the experiments that they did on the soldiers. That wasn't me. But I did get some training. PsyOp is marketing, but it's marketing with very specific intentions. I mean, that is marketing, right? But like, it's force multiplication. I was inserted into a team of special forces and Navy SEALs, and we went out into remote locations and built relationships with the local population. Wow, I mean, it seems like almost like what I did here in my normal everyday life. It's what I've done in my life. But I'm doing it as a politician because I think it's a valuable skill to be able to go into really like unfamiliar territory and be able to build relationships and garner support, which is what we did. We didn't want them to kill us in Afghanistan. We did not want them to IED us. We wanted to build air militia, so I was influential in that part. I set up radio stations and things like that. So that's how I'm using the training. It's organizing campaigns, information, what information, but I'm also using my genuine personality, my authenticity, and my political nuance to frame my messaging. That's how I'm doing it. So if you want help with that later, maybe I can help you out with it.
They both phenomenal candidates.
About my experience and my plans for the district, or how I plan to act in Congress. Yes, Leon.
So what is your first plan that you plan on enacting upon winning this campaign?
Ending the campaign?
Or winning.
Oh, winning the campaign. Yeah, so you're asking if I get elected, what are the first 8 issues that I have?
Yes.
Honestly, I want to meet the workers who are doing the work that we need here. I want to meet those people. And I want to get there. It's coalition building there as a representative. So I can't go into Congress and 435 people and say, hey, my name is Jeremy Vito, I'm a freshman, and I need you guys to give me $50 billion to Alabama. That's not how that works. So I've got to go in there and I've got to meet the right people. And there's tons of people, and I've said this before, I think there's people everywhere through government. I read a book about this recently. The government employee, the nameless government employee that loves their job, they're still there. And they know everything about these different places and things. And there's a policy expert on every issue that you have in North Alabama. Now, I've heard what the issues are because I've experienced them and I've been campaigning for a year. So I'm looking for those policy experts who understand rural southern poverty and the impacts of that on education and how we tie our property taxes to our education funding and how can we undo that or make it better in Alabama so that those rural communities that we spoke about earlier who don't have a school. I drove by like 3 high schools yesterday in the Montgomery area that looked like they had been abandoned and closed for decades. And so communities are dying, and so when I get to Congress, the real work that I want to do is I want to build the strongest relationships possible with the fighters, and we're going to get them on our side. That's why they came down to Alabama yesterday. They're coming to help. We need them. And I'm going to go and supercharge that when we get there. And we're going to have some progressive values here. I'll bring them with us. Thank you so much.
All right. By the way, Ashley, I see several cars outside with Ashley for Alabama signs on them. I thought you might want to hear that. All right. This is Candace.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, all right. She's phenomenal as well.
I am Dr. Candace Dubio, and I've met many of the people in this room. I do see some new faces, though, and I'm grateful for those people to be here today. The last little over a year has been a learning experience, I think, for all of us. And I want to talk a little bit about that specifically today. And I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I'm tired.
I know that's right.
I'm tired as a mom. Every day there's a new headline that I get to read
Yes, ma'am.
while watching my daughter jump on the trampoline or show me that she's learned how to count to 5 at school. And I'm just constantly trying to shield her from that, and that's exhausting. And I work a 9-to-5 job where, I am constantly receiving emails about the next middle-aged white dude that got a promotion. And that's exhausting. And I watch what's happening to our country. And I see people miss the mark far too often. I've said this before, I'm a policy analyst, I'm a government accounting expert. So when I read the headlines, I see the details behind it plain as day. I see how we got there, but I also see where we're going. I see that when the leader of the House in Alabama says, great, now we can move on to getting rid of the 14th Amendment. I see that us rallying in Montgomery for black voting rights is us responding to something they've already checked off their list.
Yes.
They're moving on. They're coming after the Constitution. They're not worried about winning the midterms. They're worried about getting enough people in office so that they can alter our Constitution to fit what they're trying to do. That's the reality of where we're at, and it is not one man. The man in the White House is worried about lining his pockets and making his friends and his family members rich. That's why he allows a Fox News host to take us into war, right? That's why McMahon is running our Department of Education. As a former educator, I taught 7th grade English and special education for 5 years in a Title I school district. A lot of my students are graduating, getting their first jobs now, starting their families, and I still feel a responsibility for those children. I feel a responsibility for their future. I feel a responsibility for that twinge in my gut that is concerned about the safety of the young girls when I find out they're having their first baby. I don't get to be excited for them. I fear for them. Because while they're in Mississippi and I'm in Alabama, we have the same problems. So my #1 priority is to fix our education system and make sure that our children, our babies, our grandbabies, are being empowered and equipped with the knowledge that they need to grow up and advocate for themselves in their community. The degradation of our society has been systemic, and it has come from a lot of different angles. And regardless of what happens on Tuesday, the work must continue. We have to pick what we can focus on and focus on that. And for me, at the end of the day, it's our children. It is the future that we're leaving behind for them. It is the world that they're stepping into. My other priority is very similar to my opponents, is healthcare. We don't have enough specialists, as Danny brought up in the state of Alabama, but we don't have enough OBGYNs. Recently, one of my opponents, that is not in this room, looked at me and said, "When are you going to give your daughter a sibling?"
Whoa.
As if that is not the most terrifying thing in the world to me right now. As a woman in her late 30s that has been diagnosed with PCOS, which is now PMOS, Win for Women, it's terrifying. And it shows me that even the most moderate work with everybody type of Democrat doesn't get it.
It would be great.
And is not going to take care of me, and is not going to take care of my daughter.
I'm in agreement.
I am running for office because I believe that the next phase of America is going to require experts. It's going to require real experts, the ones that have been fired from all of these different organizations. We have to rehire them. We have to put them back in place.
Absolutely.
It's going to require competitively paying our teachers. And I don't mean a flat rate salary. I mean, if you are a math teacher, if you are teaching physics in a high school, that high school should be able to pay you competitively with the private sector version of that job.
Yes.
Because you are an expert in that field. The idea that teachers are somehow responsible for being martyrs because they get the joy of spending time in a classroom with 80 to 120 different kids every day, get real.
Come on now.
People deserve to be able to pay their bills. That for me is the bottom line. So on Tuesday, we have a choice to make. We can be concerned about any of the issues that have been brought up by any of the candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can put our money where our mouth is, and all of us have been saying for years, we need more women in leadership.
Right.
We need more qualified people in leadership. Well, I'm standing here in front of you with a bachelor's in public policy, a master's in public administration, and a doctorate in education.
You better say that. All right.
I wrote my first piece of legislation when I was 16 years old.
Come on now.
It was climate change legislation. I have been on this path. I have been trying to improve my community. I have been balancing government budgets for cities, counties, and schools all across this nation for the last 20 years of my career. I've been in the classroom, I've written curriculum, I've done all of these things. So if you want qualified women, if you want matriarchy, if you want a government that centers our babies and our children, you will vote for me on Tuesday.
All right.
With that being said, does anyone have any questions? Gina.
This is not really a question so much as a statement, but please, if you have further thoughts on it, it is more important now than ever to elect where qualifications are equal, or beyond in some cases, to elect women and people of color
Yes.
more than ever.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes,
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yes, indeed.
Anyone else? Every person in this room is ready to get up Tuesday morning and vote for me here in
That sounds good to me.
What's up, Ryan? You're gonna ask me about some headline I haven't read this morning.
You're absolutely right. I'm sorry, I think you meant have you heard about Tuberville's Assimilation Act? He just, I didn't get enough time to speak about it. Can you?
Oh, I have not read that, but if you just said Tuberville and assimilation, I can make some assumptions about it.
It's a dogmatism, If you go back to the history where the assimilation started, right, with the Native American kids, being pushed into the schools, being forced to learn English, abandoned it. And this is about natural citizens, visa holders, legal immigrants. So he wants to stop the citizenship,
This question is about Tommy Tuberville saying that immigrants will assimilate by law.
Less than 5 years. Now he wants to take it to 10 years and stop all the students, all the international students who come here to stop the OPT, which is basically, they can get a job and get H1s and, be part of this. So the entire pipeline is going to be dry.
So I have a few different points. The first one's a little bit of a sarcastic response, which is, please don't assimilate to American lifestyle, because I really like the food and the culture and love and joy. The second part of this is our immigration system is fundamentally broken. Depending on which country you're coming from, you may have to file on paper, you may file on a computer, you may do it halfway here, halfway there, you may need an attorney, it may cost $4,000 or it may cost $40,000. That is a huge problem for me. When I was in college, I had a roommate that was on a student visa from Brazil. And he was on a student visa from Brazil, and at least once a week we would go log in and check his place in line. And it would change drastically, day by day. We never knew if he would end up getting called to the State Department next week or next year. I mean, it would drastically change. So it makes me sick that the people in office are trying to make it harder, or trying to act like somehow that process is just far too easy, because it's not. It's crazy. So I'd have to look into it more, but I do have a plan for creating a path to citizenship that actually makes sense, that isn't discriminating against people.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, ma'am.
My dad was Canadian, and he didn't have to get a citizenship until he worked for NASA.
Mhm.
Wasn't a big deal. And I don't remember him paying much of anything.
Mhm.
A friend of mine was a teacher with me, and he got his citizenship. He was Canadian, didn't cost him much. And I know a lady, she was married to an American, and she was from Mexico. And it cost him $30,000.
My gosh.
To go down and live where she was from, in the jungle, basically. It was extremely dangerous. And she had to go live for several months. That's what they told her. And then she had to come back.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know about you, but $30,000 is a lot of money. My husband made a good living, but that was ridiculous to treat her that way and a white person another way.
I have a cousin who married someone from Cyprus, and they had to do that. They had to leave and go live in Cyprus. It was for a
Funny
year.
story,
right?
I used to work with her.
And that they had to go live there for a year before they could apply for her citizenship as his spouse. So, and that's why I say it just varies vastly between countries. Your example is 2 countries on the same continent as ours. It is a very fundamentally broken system. So, grab a friend, get out and vote on Tuesday. Let's mingle for a little bit. Thank you all for being here. And Lisa, thank you.
Yes, indeed.